Welcome back to channel Glopen, and today we are here at the World Expo Museum here in Shanghai for an exhibition where the main theme is the Roman and Greek history, as you can see here from the title of the exhibition, From Olympus to Capitoline, which means that we're gonna explore the topic of the Roman ancient history and the Greek ancient history, as you can see here from the Zeus statue and the Roman emperor statues. So we are here at the entrance of the exhibition. The title, as I said, is From Olympus to Capitoline, and we can see here the main characters, the protagonists of this exhibition, which are the Roman and Greek gods. You can clearly see the white marble here, which is fundamental characteristics of the ancient Greek world and culture. And here, in front of me, there's the magnificent statue of Zeus, which is the god of gods in the Greek culture. On his left hand, he's holding lightning, probably, which is his weapon. And behind him, there's an eagle, which is one of the main elements of the Greek mythology, ancient mythology. And this is just the beginning of the first section, of the first part of this exhibition, which is called Legends of the Gods. So here we are gonna see the main protagonists of the Greek ancient mythology, and we're gonna learn something about them. So let's find it out. So here we are at the main hall of the exhibition, which is the Pantheon. The Pantheon is a famous Roman-style temple, and the most famous Pantheon in the world is in Rome. And you can see here the shape of the temple, which is a circular shape. It's very traditional and very common to find in Rome and Italy and all the cities in Europe. And in each column we can see there's a god which represents a feature. Every god has a characteristics. For example, here we have Athena, in Rome Minerva, who's the goddess of war and wisdom. You can clearly see it from the helmet and all the elements she is holding. She also has a weapon here, so she is clearly the goddess of war. That's amazing because the statues here are basically the same that you can see in Europe, and it's quite weird because we are not in Europe, we are in China, and I love to see this mix of cultures. So we saw the female gods of war and wisdom. Here we have the male version of the god of war, who is Ares in Greek, Mars in Roman. And as for Minerva, you can clearly see the weapons, so the sword there, the helmet. They are all warriors. They have to fight, and these elements state that this god is the god of war. So it's very famous in Italy, Europe, in the Roman ancient history. One of the most famous gods. All these statues are incredible. They are very realistic, so amazing. So behind every god and goddess, there's a dedicated room where you can see more details about the history and the characteristics of each god. For example, here we have Minerva, Athena, in Roman Minerva, Artemis, who's the goddess of hunting. Another god we're gonna learn something more about is Apollo. Here you can see Apollo, who is the god of light and music. And related to music, I wanna give you a funny story, because in Italian we have a tongue twister, a famous tongue twister that I'm gonna tell you right now, which is: a pelle figli d'Apollo fece una palla di pelle di pollo, tutti i pesci vennero a galla per vedere la palla di pelle d'Apollo fatta da pelle figli d'Apollo. And I mean, the meaning is quite complex to explain right now. We don't have much time to say it, but basically the main protagonist of the story is Apollo. the god of light and music. This is the room of Dionysus, the god of wine. The red color here is the king of the room. So wine in European culture, in Italian culture especially, it's a very important part of our traditions. And for Romans too, 2000 years ago, wine had a very important role as it has right now. So this is a collection of masterpieces and elements coming from that period, with Dionysus as the god of represented in this room. And it's amazing because every room has its own features, and I've never seen something like this before in Italy or in Europe. It's quite particular, yeah. And finally, we have Eros, who is the god of love. Here we have some wings, the wings of love. The color here is the pink color. All elements that bring us to the concept of love, of heart. Yeah, now we're gonna take some pictures here because I think this spot is quite interesting for some cool photos. So as you know, Rome was not built in a day, and the glory of the empire was reached gradually. So this section of the exhibition will explore how Rome gradually evolved into a state. So for example, from the Republican period to the imperial period, so all the eras of the Roman ancient history. This timeline here is very insightful because we can see a comparison between the Chinese and the Roman ancient history. So from the Western Zhou dynasty to the 753 before Christ, when Romulus founded the city of Rome, until the end of the ancient Roman history here in 476. So that's a very detailed timeline actually. Here we are at the third and last section of this exhibition, which is the Feast of Life, where we will see how the provinces of Rome gradually adopted the same way of living their life as Romans. So from Africa to Spain to Eastern Europe, they all adopted the same way of living their life. And the most interesting and peculiar part of their life was the fact that they took baths almost every day, which is quite uncommon for a civilization that lived more than 2000 years ago. From very small details, you can understand how Romans reached a very high level of civilization. For example, as we mentioned, they took baths almost every day. But here, you can see that they also use perfumes. So they took care of their body as anyone had done before them, and maybe after, because during the Middle Age there was not such high level of civilization probably as we can see in the Roman era. This exhibition was amazing, of course. This video is not enough to fully cover and understand what Roman and Greek history was, but it was amazing. So there were a lot of statues, masterpieces here. That's a very cool exhibition, like others here in Shanghai, not just this one, but also the one about the Egyptians. So I highly recommend to come here to Shanghai and see with your own eyes these exhibitions. And at the end of this exhibition, you can see also some curtains here, and that reveal some toys here. So it's very funny also for kids, not just for adults. And yeah, my suggestion is to come here to Shanghai and to visit these amazing places. And if you like the video, please subscribe to our channel and see you next time.